Hello, good evening, good day, wherever you are. It's good to be here once again as we take a look into the life of Ralph. But please, let's be gentle with Ralph. He's been having a very tough time trying to get through that's right, self-care for longer term behavioral change and relapse prevention. So we're back for rice and peas for peace. The Me Wellness Journey, and I am your humble host. That's right. We're still ironing out the kinks as we do this drama therapy meets comedy in recovery for longer term behavioral change. I am just blown away by the fact that I can do this. Thanks for the feedback. And yes, this episode will very well be just the audio and probably the next episode. But I promise you, we will soon have the full scripted with all of the sound effects and all of that. Yes, all of that is supposed to be here for the Smahudi. But I'm doing much of this on my own. No excuses. Thanks for the feedback. And I'm continuing to do my best to get to you all of the episodes on time with our dedicated website that gives you access to the Smile Mind Spa experience for the first season of the three seasons in phase for the year-long behavioral change, maintenance, care, support, and mind spa experience. Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking some time to take care of you and to reward you and award you. We have our Reward Award Paid Forward initiative that allows for you to be rewarded with our, that's right, Smile Reward points so that you can either make a one time donation and get awards or reward points to be able to continue getting the premium tier option of our Mind Spa experience. For those of you who buy into the monthly donation or annual donation, we will ensure that members of the public community in our outreach program gets to benefit from our paid forward initiative so that no one is left behind, which is aligned with the World Health Organization Action Plan for 2013 to 2030 to transform mental health, wellness, care provision as a part of an integrative system worldwide where all 193 member countries of the World Health Organization have signed on to ensure that mental health is treated just as important because the truth is there is no primary health without first having optimum, adaptive, and flexible mental health. Hence, World Health Organization's definition of your mental health is that it is a state of being and well-being where a person is supported and empowered to realize their full potential, make a contribution to their community, and go on to live the best life possible. But that needs some factors in play, as we will continue to see with Ralph as he navigates his own trying to better manage, cope with the stress and stressors of life that are in some cases normal, but to him, because of various factors, whether social, economic, whether personal, professional, social, spiritual, they all impact and play a part into the impairment or the compromise mental health state of being, well-being. So remember, when we're talking about your mental health, we're not saying that you have a diagnosable condition that meets certain criteria over a certain period of time. We're talking about how you're able to adaptively respond to the needs of the now moment, just what is needed for now, and be able to manage it, cope, and then detach from it and not become overwhelmed by it or stuck with it. So let's jump right into Ralph. Remember the last time we met Ralph? He was dealing with that's right, the mental traffic report. So last week when we tackled the monkey mind, that noisy overthinking brains of ours, and we introduced the mental traffic report, how did that go for you? You had a warm time? Well, as you can see, I'm doing my best. Just like everyone else, I have to engage and utilize the mental traffic report. And boy, as I continue to roll this out and be up to date with everything that is happening for the small, me, well state, mind spa experience, super app for the global social village, I have been using the mental traffic report. But today we're moving on to another biggie, emotions. Emotions. Well, what are emotions? I hasten to say that oftentimes we feel that we're blindsided or ambushed, attacked by emotions. And it seems as if they were sent to just commandeer and cause disruption in our lives. But where really does emotions come from? The truth is, we are the ones who create our emotions. But oftentimes, because of not being so mindfully aware or present with our bodily functions and especially our way of thinking about what's happening within our system, and we're allowing the input from our senses, our five senses, and others, what we're hearing, what we're feeling in terms of touch, sensation, that enters the body. They all enter the body as a stimulus. The body reacts with what initially comes in as an action potential to recognize there is something that is foreign to this system that it must respond to. So we have an action potential. Depending on the tone of it or the magnitude of its stimulus, we then have perception of it. Depending on our cognitive and our sensory and our bodily sensing of it, in addition to our mental health state of being, which will then try to respond to it, not knowing exactly what is it. It initially is surprised at the presence of it, and then we label it. So we go from a sensation to a feeling, then we have a perception of it based on our state of being. We'll either flavor it, and the way we flavor it is just like There we go, the weather. Let's see how we flavor it like the weather. So, as we move into emotions, yes, sometimes they're messy, unpredictable, and sometimes downright dramatic, or so we flavor them, just like the weather. But here's the good news: you don't need to fight them, especially since you created them with the way you're perceiving it, either insisting that it shouldn't be or that it should be based on the beliefs you hold about it. Ultimately, our emotions are determined by our beliefs about what's happening in the current moment and our state of being with either fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fight, we engage with it. We try to overcome it. We try to just beat it down. Or, that's right, we can go with flee from it. We avoid it. We get away from it. We run away from it. Or we can go with freeze, where we try to camouflage with our environment, hoping that, hey, that's it. This will just bypass us if we ignore it. Or sometimes we just try to people please or accommodate depending on what's going on in the now moment and how we think if we just go along with it, fun, people please, or accommodate, then hopefully it will go away. But there's a detriment to that. In the meantime, here's the setup. Let's look at it in context of Ralph's life and the way he had another meltdown after, that's right, his rice and peas got burnt. Yes, I had to jump in because I didn't want any more delay in getting this out to you. So, Ralph Solman, our lovable everyman and representative of all of us, has been working on his mental traffic report, and he's feeling pretty good about himself. He's calm, collected, and almost zen. That's right, almost. Look what's about to happen. So Ralph decided to treat himself to a cappuccino at his favorite coffee shop. He's standing in the line, minding his own business, when suddenly, bam, the the barista makes a small mistake, or so it seems, or so is declared by Ralph, barista. Sir, we ran out of oat milk. Is regular milk okay for you today, sir? Now, for a rational person, this is no big deal. But Ralph loses it. Are you kidding me? I came here for oat milk. I don't want regular milk. Why is life so hard, especially for me? Why? Note, the place is now silent. The other customers are all listening in shock. Why is he reacting like this to the fact that there is no oat milk? To them, it's not like the barista is doing this specifically to him. wisely taking it so personal, but at least so pervasive. But Ralph, life personal. So Ralph stares at himself. He is mortified. He grabs his cappuccino, regular milk, and all, and bowls out of the door. That's right. When you react totally out of proportion to the magnitude of what is required in the moment, oftentimes we're horrified by our own stress response. I can say that with some authority because that used to be. Back at home, Ralph collapsed onto his sofa. Excuse me, angry at the world, but even more angry at himself. What just happened? Ralph asked. Why did I freak out over milk? There you go. By that time, he's embarrassed, and now he has to see and find a way to reconcile. How did he arrive there? However, at this stage of his journey, with rice and peas for the soul revisited, he feels a little inadequate to answer why did he freak out. I can remember on my journey to address always responding with intense anger. I came to realize in my research that oftentimes we react angrily when we have unmet needs or unexplained expectations. The way I got a better handle of my processing of when my needs are unmet or unexplained, is asking myself this of all the things I can feel right now, why am I feeling this so-called emotion? Of all the emotions I can feel, why am I? And then I take it to the next level, choosing, choosing, because when you get to that point, you will get to the second tier of our little Samaho bit for today. You'll get there shortly. So, in his next session with Mr. Hannes, me, I share with Ralph what you experienced was an emotional storm, and storms are normal. The trick is learning not to fight them, not to fight them, Ralph said. All right, let's break this down. I introduced Ralph to one of the most powerful concepts in the Me Wellness Smahovich toolkit. Emotions are like the weather. How? Let's look at it this way. Think about it this way. We have sunny days, or bright or shiny, and those we can almost say they're like the happy moments we feel, feeling calm, relaxed, joyful, happy. We have cloudy days, That's when you feel, you're not too sure how you feel, but it's neither here nor there, just floating through. Then there are the stormy days. That's where you're either angry, you're sad, frustrated, or anxious. And then there are the hurricane days, right? There are those days when you don't even have a grip on what's happening and you feel totally overwhelmed. And your response to what is needed for the moment, more than often, is usually not adaptive. You just react without much thought. Oftentimes, that doesn't solve the problem. It's more than likely to make it worse. Because the truth is, the more we struggle with how we're feeling, whatever you resist, as the Buddhist teaching would say, whatever you resist persists because you're fighting with it. It's almost like this. Here's the key: the weather doesn't last forever, and neither do emotions. Just like storms pass, so do feelings. Fighting them or pretending they don't exist is like standing in the rain without an umbrella, yelling at the sky. Does it ever work? No, it doesn't. Emotions are messengers, Ralph. They tell us something's happening inside of us. Your job isn't to fight the storm. Your job is to notice the storm. Notice the size of the raindrops, or if it's a hailstorm, because it's telling you something inside where you're processing, labeling, thinking of what's happening, insisting that it may be, should not be happening, something else should be happening, or lamenting the fact that it is happening as against acknowledging it's happening and being more mindfully aware how you are choosing ultimately to respond to it. Hmm. Emotions are temporary visitors, my friend. That's right. Ralph, they show up and say their piece and leave. But only if you let them, if you fight them, you keep the storm stuck overhead within your mind throughout your body. So here is my small bit, my self motivation and healing ourselves online. Brief intervention for emotions when they come in like a storm or just simply like the weather, and it may not be comfortable for you to process, act, or react with them. Here is four parts of how you could be at peace with them, accepting that it is present. That's the way you're experiencing it. To be at peace with it is not to judge it, but to be in acceptance that it is. One, as you feel it coming on, you make a choice. Pause, take a deep breath. With that breath, hopefully, you can quickly assess analyze, and then move to the next stage. Name it. Name it exactly the way you're perceiving it, experiencing it, and what's your perception of it. And if you can get in there quickly, is this truly how I feel? What I'm about to call it. When I name it exactly as I feel it, I'm much more empowered to get beyond it. Because if I name it, the next stage or step, I have to accept it just as it is, knowing fully well that I am the one naming it, and in so doing, creating it, or put another way, choosing it to be called whatever I call it. Then comes the final part. Call of the fact that it is happening. Because if I named and I accept it, I have the power to let it go. And so it will disappear with the changing of the now moment we call time. Yes, that's the power of change. It allows us to let things pass with the changing of the now moment. Let's try this together now. Think back to a time you felt frustrated, like Ralph with his oatmeal meltdown. Got it? Okay, think about it. Was that because of an unmet need or unexplained expectation? Unmet need or unexplained expectation? Feel it. Remember the sensation of it. What were your thoughts about it? Was there absolute thinking as that it shouldn't be happening? Something else should be happening? Something must happen? Something must not be happening. We, me, in my approach, with my psychological framework for working with people for behavioral change, I work with REBT, rational, emotive behavior therapy. Rational, try to get persons to look at the things they're holding as either absolutes that often may be irrational in and of itself, to become a little more rational in their mindset and predisposition as to embracing the now moment and those things that may be happening or not happening in the now moment. So here's your homework, lovely people. Sometime this week, when you feel an emotional storm coming on, whether it's stress, anger, sadness, or worry, I want you to pause, then name it, then let it pass. Okay, I hear you. I get it. It's easier said than done. Let me tell you what's also easier said and the more often you do it. You get it done with practice. Everything can lead to mastery. And with that, you eventually get it done. So, how about if we try that? Because remember, emotions are just like the weather, they don't define you, no, but they can become a predisposition if that's how you maladaptively choose to cope and respond as a defense mechanism that allows you to feel the less or the least discomfort and an unwillingness to delay the gratification to get to the point where feelings that is causing the distress, the discomfort, or conflict in the now passes. Next week, we're talking about that's right, the very thing why you either fight with the now moment, insisting that it shouldn't be happening, hoping that by fighting with it, it will disappear and it will cease to be happening. But a little adage from the Buddhist teaching is that whatever you resist, fight with, persist. We're talking about fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, how your brain reacts to stress. And stress is anything that the body, the brain, perceive as a danger or foreign to its operation, total being, our state of being in our body. Anything that comes in through our senses, our five senses, that must be transformed into the language of the brain to be understood and then processed is initially seen as stress or as something to fear, and the body then kicks in with certain reliefs of adrenaline, cortisol, and norepinephrine to be able to either fight the thing off, freeze, camouflage, to deal with it, avoid or flee, or simply just go along with people please, placate. Spoiler alert, Ralph freezes like a deer in headlights during a big presentation. It's hilarious, but also super relatable because we all freeze at some point or the other in our day to day living. Some of us for a couple of seconds, some of us as long as Ralph did for a few minutes. So, thanks for tuning in to Rice and Peas and Peace, the Me Wellness Journey. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to register. Don't forget to go to the homepage or the blog page for this episode. Very soon, I'll be sure to ensure once you are registered as a listener of the Smahudi, the entire first season, you are able to access at no charge. And that runs until the end of April. You can find me on social media. And for more tools and tips, you can get it by becoming a part of the Smile Me Well State Mind Spa experience. That's right. Smile Mind Spa experience or Smile Spa experience.com or Mind Spa, mind-spa.ca. See you next week.